From Anderson, recognized.
Thank you. Today is Personhood Day at the Capitol. If you're unaware, we had a rally in the first floor rotunda. The governor kicked it off as speaking for us. We had quite a number of speakers, preachers, politicians, prayer leaders. It's the best church service I've been in quite a while. I'm sorry if you were not able to be there. Today I introduced the Personhood Bill for this session, and I hope to gain your support of it. I hope that some of you who have not been willing to consider it in the past would consider it in this session. I want to try very briefly to answer the question, why is the idea of personhood important? What is it that makes it different from any other piece of pro-life legislation? I mean, what is the word personhood, and what's that got to do with trying to bring an end to the killing of unborn babies? And I want to read you a very brief quote from the Roe v. Wade ruling, because this is kind of where personhood goes back to. In Roe v. Wade, the state of Texas argued that a fetus is a person within the language and the meaning of the 14th Amendment, to which Justice Harry Blackmun responded, if the suggestion of personhood is established, the appellate's case, of course, collapses. For the fetus's right to life would then be guaranteed specifically by the amendment. However, Justice Blackmun came to the conclusion that the word person, as used in the 14th Amendment, does not include the unborn. He was making a legal argument. He was basically just saying, I don't think that the unborn child is included in the word person in the 14th Amendment, and therefore there's no constitutional protection of life. It's hardly know what to call it. Amazing, ironic, perverse, that it was the 14th Amendment that Justice Blackmun used to say that a whole class of people weren't persons. Because without a civil war, without a 13th and 14th Amendment, people who had been slaves would not have been guaranteed due process and equal protection of the laws. That is what the 14th Amendment was all about. Guarantee the right to life, liberty, and property through due process, and stating that no person, no state could deprive any person or deny to any person the equal protection of the laws. So what we're involved in here for the past 46 years is just a repetition of a different class of people of the gravest moral error this nation ever made. The founders could not come to agreement in the Constitutional Convention about what to do about slavery. So those who were slaves were counted as 3/5 of a person, but only for the purpose of proportional representation. Some of our founders held slaves. Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, both held slaves all their adult life. Jefferson knew it was wrong. He was quite a philosopher. Jefferson said this, indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, and his justice, patience cannot endure forever. He was talking about slavery. The 14th Amendment, due process, guaranteeing your right to life and mine. Equal protection of the laws, guaranteed for every person, regardless of race, socioeconomic status, or religion, or age. So that's what personhood at its heart is all about. We're simply trying to say that that unborn child deserves the same protection of the 14th Amendment that we all have. And in fact, I would go so far as to say we're arguing for our own life. Because each one of us was once an embryo. Each one of us was once 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks in the womb when our heart began to beat. When I argue for the protection of the unborn, I argue for your rights as well as my own, as well as those who have not yet been born. That's what personhood's all about. I hope this bill will get a hearing in judiciary. I wish that this bill could be debated on the floor of this Senate. I wish that someone could show me where I'm wrong in my contention that a human life begins at fertilization and deserves legal protection from that moment forward through every stage of biological development into old age and natural death. It's the most pressing issue. It is the most important issue. It's an issue we don't really want to take up, an issue we would prefer to ignore. But it's an issue that I pray and hope that we will have the courage to deal with in this session. Thank you.